Our last ignite is Mr. Peter Doherty, otherwise known as the IT Ninja. And he's going to tell us about Dead Ninja's telephone lies, apparently. So,
thank you.
Your time starts.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hang on, quick beat, start now and use the extra shine.
Can't remember what I meant to say.
Yeah. Technology. There you go.
Okay, I spend a lot of time, and my ninja followers everywhere spend a lot of time telling me about some of the secrets and some of the lies they tell themselves about why their projects fail. So what I'm going to do today is share some of those lies with you and help you understand how you don't want to make those same sort of lies. The first thing we talk about when we go into a service management project, we go, I need to get some consultants in who will help me understand the process. And we'll spend a lot of time analysing things and internalising things and trying to design things that have no connection with the real world. And all of a sudden I've got an army of consultants in there. And I'm going, the consultants told me how to do it. And my costs are blowing out because the more and more consultants I come in, I'm finding the more and more work I'm doing, but I'm not getting the outputs. The next thing is I go and look to the analysts. And this is not the Gartner Magic Quadrant, this is the Gartner Mystical Quadrant from my boutique analytical firm out of Southeast Asia, who also do a great line of Bolex watches. So this, we go to look at the analysts, who should we buy? But the analysts are sitting there in their own little vacuum, analysing things, thinking to themselves, without having a real world understanding of what our individual needs are. They don't know about us, they give us generic templates about the things that they think are good. We then sit down and think about, we've got a bunch of money to spend, and we start formalising in our mind what the outcomes are going to look, what it's going to look like as my end deliverable. And I sit down and I start rationalising those things, and then I open it up to my broader stakeholder community. And all of a sudden, when I start going to my broader stakeholder community, my scope starts to increase. So it's my customers, it's my stakeholders' fault. It's the analysts who told me which tool. If I don't manage those stakeholder expectations, I will never deliver what they want. So I have to work very closely with my stakeholders. So it is my stakeholders' fault. No, it was the vendor's fault. The vendor sold me all this software, telling me it could do all this stuff, and what happens is I find out that it can't. Well, did you ever think to go through and get your vendor to drive you through use case scenarios of what you want to do? Don't go and buy a product straight off a RFI. And guess what? We want partnerships with our vendors, but what we end up doing is putting vendor management in the way, whose responsibility is to drive down price. So what, all of a sudden, I don't get what I want. And then I go to implement it. And I get my implementation people come up and go, you know what you said you wanted in that tool that you've got? Now there's all these extra things that I need to do, and it's hard. And then I start going down the track a bit more, and oh my God, I have scope creep. What I initially started to think about doing, I'm now socialising it with some more people, and my scope is creeping, and my budgets are blowing out, and my timelines are going out. So it's the stakeholders again. So I escalated to my senior managers, to my steering committee, and my senior managers and steering committee are having those executive meetings there, and they don't really care. They just want us to do it. So the next reason we fail is I don't have that stakeholder engagement. They're not adding value to the process. But just imagine if we took a different approach. Just imagine if we started looking at an open road and we could understand where we are and what our destination is going to be and work out the delivery mechanisms that we're going to use to take us there. Having a broad mind. And then, instead of going and having the stakeholders telling us everything they want, why not go and explain to them about what you can deliver in short terms, speed to value. You've heard me say before, I'm an 80% guy. If I can get 80% in of the requirements, I can then deliver value quickly. Go on the journey with their customers. Take them to that better place where they want to get to. Show them what that better place is going to look like, and then enable them and guide them there. The way we'll get our stakeholders and our customers to make use of this is get them engaged. Then when I start looking at tool sets, what I really need to do is I've got to make sure that I'm comparing the exact same things. Because from what the analysts say, from what the different vendors say, it's very difficult to get a true picture. So work with your vendor in a partnership from the very start. Explain to them what your business objectives are. Let them help you get to those business objectives. It's not about getting the cheapest price. It's about getting the best fit and defining the partnership that you want to move forward. And then, when I do start moving forward and pushing out the solution from a process and from a toolset perspective, it is much easier to join the individual bits. And when I have my consultants doing the implementation, they should be asking you, why do you want to do that a lot? Once I start doing those things, I'll be delivering engagement out to my customers. I'll all of a sudden change from delivering something that IT is having as an IT project to a business-inspired business outcome. My customers will be happy, and it'll give me a foundation for doing long-term growth. These are the things that I've learned as being a ninja for many years. I've heard many customers tell themselves lies about why they fail. These are some of the lies they tell one another. These are some things that I'd expect you wouldn't do in the future. Thank you.
Excellent. So that actually concludes our Ignite presentation.